Hello everyone, this is Deanna Nichols. I am a Blue Diamond in doTERRA, and this is our Sunday night live event, and we are going to go live here in just about 2 minutes. So we'll just give Facebook a chance to help everyone find us, and then we will get started right at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. We meet here every Sunday at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, and so if you'll just bear with me for probably about 60 seconds, if you're watching the replay, then we'll go ahead and we'll get started.
All participants are muted, and they can unmute themselves.
All right, so this is Essential Oils Are Not Magic Beans, and tonight we're going to be focusing specifically about how your physical issues, things that you're struggling with in your physical body, can actually help you to find some things that are emotional that could be affecting your health. And we have some tools here that we're going to teach you how to use, and then if you have your oils, the more oils that you have and the more oils you have in the doTERRA collection, the easier it will be to do this when you have an issue and you find the oil that's kind of the clue that's pointing you in the right direction. It's great if you have that oil and you can just grab it from your oil arsenal. But you have to get started somewhere. Hey, Deborah. And so give me 1 second. I'm going to record this on the phone as well for those listening on the phone.
Start conference recording, press 1. Please
Okay.
note that your storage is almost full.
All right. So
Log in and delete recordings or purchase more storage
give me 1
for
second.
your account.
All right.
The recording has started.
So we want to actually make sure that we have some basic oils in our home, and so we're going to talk to you about how you can get some of those here at the very end. So make sure you hang on to the end. We try to keep these about 30 minutes, so it's not too awfully long, and hopefully you're just relaxing your jammies or whatever this time of night, and so you can just kind of sit back and watch or listen in on the call, whichever way you've preferred to tune in, whether on the phone or via Facebook Live video. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to show you some basic tools that I use. There's a book here that I like. It's called Emotions and Essential Oils, and that's a book you can find easily on Amazon. Another book that I have, and I actually there's a full book by this title, but I'm actually just using the little reference cards, and this is called Feelings Buried Alive Never Die, and that's by Carol Trueman, with Carol with a K. We're going to refer to that book as well. And then, of course, we're going to be using our doTERRA essential oils. I've been using doTERRA essential oils now for 5 years, and during that time I had some major changes in my health just about 1.5 years into my journey, and so I'm very passionate about helping other people to learn about these powerful tools, and we're really grateful to be partnered with major research hospitals like Duke and Vanderbilt and Johns Hopkins and places like that will only work with doTERRA essential oils because of their quality and reliability, consistency. And so this is all backed by science. And so some of the things we're going to talk about tonight may be a little bit different than what you're used to. So if you're like me, when you got started using essential oils, you kind of learned about some 10 basic essential oils and how they helped your body. And so if you had, let's say you had a respiratory problem and you wanted to open up your airways, then we were taught to use Breathe. Okay, so my problem is I've got some junk in my chest or in my sinus area, or I'm just struggling with a cold or something, and so I want to inhale Breathe, and that's kind of what we learned. Then we learned if we have a skin problem, like maybe we have a scratch or a bite from an insect or something, that we would grab something like Melaleuca, one of our basic oils. And if you're just straight up not feeling well and you're trying to kick something, you want On Guard. And that's all true and great. And you definitely need to learn those basics and have some of these basic oils in your home. But I'm going to branch out a little bit more and explain to you that our emotions are very powerful. And things that we feel emotionally, if we don't deal with them and we kind of just let them fester, they don't just disappear. They just get buried and they do their work in our body, and they can affect our health over time. And so I'll give you an example that you can easily relate to, okay? So have you ever been extremely nervous about something that you had to do? Maybe you had to speak in front of a group of people. Maybe you had to travel on your own. I can relate to that. I don't travel much on my own, and I had to do that, and I had a little anxiety about that. And so sometimes, what do you feel? Do you feel a little bit of upset stomach? And so when your stomach's upset, we've always learned to grab an essential oil called Digestin and put that on our tummies. But if there's really an emotional reason that's causing you to feel that stomach upset, then then it might be easier to treat the emotion. And so we know that when we inhale an essential oil, that it can immediately have effects on our brain and our emotions. But what if we not only inhaled it, but we put the emotional oil where the physical problem was? So let's say I used an oil like Peace. Peace is the reassuring blend. It can help you when you're having anxious feelings. And so what if I just took this oil and I were to put a little in my palms like this and inhale it, okay? And I'm going to let that get into my system really quickly and start affecting my emotions. But if I'm feeling that emotion in my digestive system, I could take a little bit and then I could rub it on my tummy, just directly there. And so I'm not only getting the aromatic effects of inhaling the oil, but I'm also getting it in my bloodstream when I put it on topically, and I'm putting it right where the problem is. So do you kind of see how that works? So I know sometimes when people use an oil for a problem, they'll say, oh, that didn't help me. Like, that didn't help my headache go away. Well, why do you have a headache? Are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling tired? I mean, what's the emotion behind that? And so feeling overwhelmed maybe. And so sometimes we need to get a little bit deeper into the emotion, especially if you find that it's not helping you over time. Because I know that the essential oils work. Every time I use oils, I feel better in some way. Hey, Kimberly. Hey, Aviance. And so if you're not seeing the results you're looking for, you might want to try experimenting just a little bit more. So it helps to have some of these tools. Now, let me tell you, if you are an ebook person, you can get this Emotions and Essential Oils book like on Kindle, right on your phone. It makes it really simple to use. You can just pull your phone out and look. If you also download the Daily Drop app from doTERRA, and then you go in there, there's a section on your emotions, which is super cool. It'll ask you questions about how you're feeling, and then it will recommend which oils you need. And so what you can do, because I know people are always thinking about, well, where do I put it? It's telling me to use bergamot, but where in the world do I put it? Well, where are you feeling this tension or this these anxious feelings that you're having? Where are you feeling? So let's say you're feeling really bad about yourself. Where in your body is that? Are you holding on to that? Maybe you're getting a knot in your stomach. Maybe you've got tension in your shoulders or neck. So go ahead and inhale the oil, then put it there. Okay, so put it where it goes, like put it where the problem is. And always inhale the oil first so you get those emotional benefits right away. Okay, so I'm going to answer some of your questions. I'm going to try my best to answer some of your questions, but let me show you how to use the tool, because instead of just giving you the answer, let me show you how you can find it for yourself, okay? So let's start out with one way of using these tools. So let's say that you have a negative thought that is bothering you. And let's say, for example, it is, I don't belong here. I feel excluded. I feel left out. I don't feel like I'm part of a community. I know we've all struggled with that feeling, okay? And so you think about how you feel, and then how would you like to feel? Well, I'd like to feel like I belong to a community. I'd like to feel included. I'd like to feel like people enjoy being around me. And so when I know how I'm feeling and how I want to feel, then I know what to look up in the emotions book. So in the back, there's a section where you can look things up. And so maybe you want to feel connected. So you can look up connection, connected. There's lots of different ways of being connected. So connected emotionally. You want to be connected emotionally to people and feel like you matter to them as a group. And so an oil that they recommend here is cedarwood. And if you look up cedarwood in the emotions book, you will find that cedarwood is actually called the oil of community, which is really, really cool. And that's what you want, right? So what you can do is you can use this little cheat sheet on here, and you can tell yourself how you would like to feel or how you're choosing to feel. And you can add the essential oil just for even more benefits. Now, sometimes if you're feeling isolated or excluded, it can hurt your heart, and you can just kind of feel sad in your chest. Okay, so let's say you're feeling your sadness here in your chest, and you got the oil to help you how you want to feel. What can you do? So you're going to apply some cedarwood to your hands like this, inhale it, rub it over your chest, and then you could maybe say something like, I choose belonging, I choose community, I feel like I'm part of a community, I'm included now, I choose to be friendly, I am friendly, people enjoy my company, and you can start to tell yourself how you would like to choose to feel, okay? So isn't that kind of cool? So that's one way you can use it, all right? Now we're going to show you another way that you can use these tools. So let's say that I've just kind of made up some common health concerns that people talk to me about on a regular basis. My dog's trying to get in and join our event here. He needs to feel like he's part of a community, so he's trying to bust in here. Okay, so a question I get asked about a lot, especially this time of year, is circulation problems. Okay, so they can manifest themselves in lots of different ways. You could always be feeling cold. You could start to see issues in your capillaries and blood vessels. Maybe you have numbness. Maybe your doctor's just told you like you really need to improve your circulation, whatever. So let's say you're struggling with circulation. So if you were to look that up in one of the oil reference books, it's going to tell you, something specifically for physical. Okay, so when I talk about an oil reference book, I've got this one here that I like, Modern Essentials, for example. If you look up circulation in here, there's a section in the back that's really easy to use. You can just look up your problem that you're having. So let's say we looked up circulation in here. Okay. All right, let's see if I can, it's under cardiovascular, so I need to look under that. Okay, capillaries, that's one section we could look in. All right, so here we go, circulation. So it's saying Cyprus, okay? So that's a great one, but let's think a little bit outside the box, okay? Because sometimes, whoa, I'm sorry, I'm knocking over all my oils here. So sometimes people tell me, I've been using Cyprus on my, spider veins, and I'm just not seeing any kind of improvement. And so, now what we can do is we can look a little deeper to the emotional cause, and that's when we can get out this really handy